And welcome to this edition of Utah Business Matters, your weekly television window to small business here in the state of Utah. We come to you this week from Laketown, Utah, and behind me, the Laketown Lodge. It was the dream of two Utah entrepreneurs.
We were actually in the Boy Scout program together about 8 years ago. That's how we met, and we've just been buddies ever since then.
Been doing things with the Scouts, had a lot of long drives to talk about business and life and other things.
It's just in my blood to try new things and to see what I can do.
I started looking online and I found this place.
It was literally the biggest piece of junk when we bought it. It was an old rundown general store, and he said, you know, this could be a cool cabin for us. The LDS Church used it for a while, Utah Power had it for a while. It was a hair salon, a grocery store, a hardware store. I mean, it's been around the block and back again. 3
months later it was ours, and 6 months after that it was the Laketown Lodge.
When we bought it, the basement level was actually only about 5.5, maybe 6 feet tall. And so we dug down that floor another 1.5 feet to give you the headroom that you need. In doing that, we couldn't get any equipment down there. We didn't have conveyor belts to pull the dirt out, and so we actually brought that entire 3,000 square foot level down 1.5 feet using 5-gallon buckets and shovels. And we just shoveled it or hauled it up in buckets, one after the other after the other. And it ended up being 3 dump truck loads full of dirt that we had moved one bucket at a time.
We were doing this in the middle of winter, and Bear Lake is not the warmest place in the middle of winter. We had plenty of scrap 2x4s to burn, and but it would get cold in the morning. And we left one shower intact, but the shower was great, but then when you would get out, it was 30 degrees. It wasn't a normal construction project where there's 30 trucks parked out in front and, you know, army of guys going at it. It was the 3 of us with a few helpers occasionally.
And during construction, one of our the ongoing theme was, well, we could do it this way, or we could spend a little more and do it this way. And we always chose, let's spend a little bit more. It's a little more time, a little more headache, but at the end of the day, what we finished out here is just amazing.
The more we got into it and the more money it was going to cost, we decided to do it nice and then take that next step and rent it out.
Right now, we focus mostly on family reunions. You're eating together, you're sleeping in the same general area, you're playing games together, and the family actually, our tagline is, it's where relatives become family.
When you're getting in with a partner, it's very important that, you know, they're honest and you can believe them, and they're what Ben and I call it the fairness gene, and not many people have it.
We've got 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. Most of them are private bathrooms on their own private bedroom.
There's no TVs in the rooms. We don't want people sitting in their rooms. We want everybody to get down and getting to know the people they're there with. Most of those bedrooms are a double queen setup, and we've set those up in what we call family suites. And then there's a bunk room for all the kids to stay, and then you can seal that section off.
We've got a loft area with a little library up there and a TV area where you can kind of escape on your own. On the main level, we've got a gigantic kitchen. We've got a 10-foot island, and then we've got another island that's about 8 feet by 10 feet, and then we've got dining tables for 35 people.
You can sit 45 people down at once and all have a dinner together, where else are you going to be able to do that?
In the basement, we've got 3,000 square feet of games: ping pong, foosball, air hockey, card tables, a 16-person theater.
It's just to draw people together and get them down there talking, playing games together, and just being family and associating with each other.
We've got 2 gathering areas on the main level, one that's just kind of quiet where you can talk, another TV area. And then in the backyard, we've got horseshoes, volleyball, soccer, tetherball, so all sorts of stuff to do while you're here. Our guests can actually reserve the entire park for their family and have a reunion over at the park like a lot of families would, and then still have the lodge here. And then of course we're a mile off the water of Bear Lake. We've got 2 boat marinas within 3 minutes of us, and so getting on the water's a piece of cake.
There's obviously the lakes. You got water skiing, wakeboarding, sailing, windsurfing, just all sitting on the beach, getting a tan, you know, just all those things.
ATV trails are 5 minutes this way, so you've got the water, the ATV trails, the park, there's fishing over here, fishing over here.
We tell people it doesn't start to make sense till about 25 to 30 people. It's a better value just on the lodging side of things, but then when you're in a place like Bear Lake, where meals can get rather expensive too for, you know, $30, 40 people. So you have the ability to cook your own meals and do that together, and it not only saves money, but you bond at the same time.
If you park here, people can't see through this intersection. We had no parking signs, no parking painted on the ground, nothing happened. People were just parking there constantly. So one day I just thought, you know what, let's make this a designated wedgie zone. If you park here, you're gonna get a wedgie. So we hung the sign up, and we've had one guest that we know of actually park there since we put the sign up. So it's been working pretty good.
I like history, and I like buildings that are true historically. And so we tried to keep as much of that as we could. Things were built out on the front, we ripped those off, and we brought it back to how it originally looked in 1907 when it was built. It's all small business, and it all gives you lessons you need to have, and you grow day by day doing it. Longest 5 years and the shortest 5 years of my life.
We haven't met the marks where we want to be at or need to be at yet, but we're slowly moving in that direction. And right now we're bringing on a new program where we're doing VIP educational retreats. So in the off season, we'll bring people up, they'll spend $500 to $1,000 for the whole weekend. It's all inclusive, meals, lodging, instruction, and they'll have an instructor come up with a particular hobby or a particular interest, and they'll be able to spend the entire weekend with a group of people that are involved in that same hobby. And being up in Laketown, we're an hour from any major city, and so there's no distractions up here. If you come up here, you're dedicated to the event.
There were challenges in there where, like, when is this going to be over? But then you look back on them, and those were some of the best times too.
Our tangible goals are, we want the lodge to completely pay for itself. Right now it's still kind of the cabin slash business where we're putting a little into it, which is okay because it's still, we use it for our personal use as well. As far as lessons learned from Adam, he doesn't stop. He'll put his mind to something and he'll just go and go and go until it's done. Adam's just a genius at whatever he touches.
It brings families that haven't seen each other for 5 years, it brings them back together, and it lets them reconnect, and really, I think, adds some value to just life.
When we come back right here on Utah Business Matters, 3 generations of sod growers, their company, Biograss Sod Farms. Stay with us.